So some big news that has dropped recently is the fact that BlizzCon got canceled this year. And really hasn't been much of a thing since 2020 because of course we all know what happened in 2020. So let's talk about this and discuss a little bit about BlizzCon and potentially them moving forward. So let's get into it. So right here, article obviously states BlizzCon is canceled again, and Blizzard hasn't really explained why, but says it's coming back in the future years. BlizzCon 2024 is canceled, but the concept of BlizzCon is not. I think I know why it got canceled. I definitely on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm pretty sure I'm at like a 9.5 as to why it got canceled. And you guys could probably guess. And we'll go through the article and we'll find out what this article has to say about it. Anyways, BlizzCon 2024 isn't happening. Blizzard has confirmed that the formerly annual fan gathering has once again been canceled, but still committed to bringing the event back eventually. Okay. After careful consideration over the years, we at Blizzard have made the decision not to hold BlizzCon in 2024. The company says in its announcement, this decision is not made lightly as BlizzCon remains a very special event for all of us, and we know many of you look forward to it. While we're approaching this year differently, and as we explore different events formats in the past, rest assured that we are just as excited as ever to bring BlizzCon back in the future years. Okay. What Blizzard doesn't detail there is exactly why BlizzCon was canceled. Okay. Let me get into why I think BlizzCon got canceled. It's because of Microsoft. Why would a titan such as Microsoft, because mind you, Activision Blizzard is now owned by Microsoft. Why would they want to hold two different events? Because mind you, events are very, very expensive. You got to rent the venue. You got to get security. You got to set the stage, all this stuff to be able to do it, right? So, of course, Microsoft does their thing in, I believe it's June, because word on the street is Gears of War 6 is going to be announced in June. But why would they hold two different events when they can just hold one massive event? And it only cost the cost of basically one, maybe one and a quarter event, Vice paying for two different events at potentially two different venues at two different times of the year. To me, from a business standpoint, it only makes sense to just can BlizzCon and hold one event. What they could do if they really, really want to appease the Blizzard audience, the WoW guys, the Overwatch guys, Diablo, what have you, right? Whatever, your thing is when it comes to Blizzard. They could just hold BlizzCon and have it be like a 3-day event, whatever, and just do their Microsoft stuff in the middle of it and just be a side note. Because don't get me wrong, there is a lot of people that love BlizzCon. And I used to work with a guy that would go to BlizzCon every year religiously and then come back and brag about all the stuff he did. Now, I'm not much for World of Warcraft. I used to play Overwatch for the first one when it first came out. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is definitely a decision on Microsoft's part to can BlizzCon. Now, last year's, I believe, got canceled. I'm not exactly sure. But if last year's got canceled, it was because of the acquisition that Microsoft was making to try to get Activision Blizzard. Now this article is really going to try to sell you on, really why they should have BlizzCon this year. With the World of Warcraft, War Within, and major Diablo 4 DLC launching this year, you'd think the company would have plenty to talk about. But those launches might just come before Blizzard's traditional November dates. Of course, with Blizzard having just canceled its big survival game and big executive shakeup, not to mention the past that the broader layoffs of Microsoft, maybe now just isn't the time. And I mean, don't get me wrong, when it comes down to it, I agree. Like you kind of want to get eyes on the World of Warcraft War Within. You want to get eyes, especially on like Diablo, have a massive DLC with how much that player base has plummeted. But as it states right here, like the shakeups, the layoffs, all that stuff, I feel like definitely is just one of those things. For now, Blizzard promises more information about its plans for 2024 over the next few months and says it will soon share exciting plans for other industry trade shows and convention like Gamescom. The announcement also makes a point of highlighting Overwatch esports and in-person 30th anniversary Warcraft celebration this year as a way of keeping the con part of BlizzCon alive. Like I said right there, it makes sense from a business standpoint just to have one instead of having two or potentially three if you go to Gamescom and then like Microsoft holds their little trade show and then like Activision holds theirs. It just doesn't make sense. BlizzCon was held annually from 2005 through 2019, skipping only 2 years in between. And at its height, it was one of the biggest events in gaming, bringing together communities, gathering with games news, and big concert performances with artists ranging from Weird Al Yankovic to Metallica. This event was canceled in 2020 as a result of right? Replaced online early in 2021. BlizzCon 2023 has been the only traditional iteration of the event since then. So they did have it last year. I wasn't sure. But 2020 and 2021 makes sense. Lord knows what they did for 2022. But like I said, at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense to have another convention, even if it is Blizzard, right? Let's go full screen. To me, BlizzCon potentially being a casualty, I guess we could say, of the acquisition of Microsoft is just one of those things. I mean, look at it this way. At least like we have GamersCon, right? E3, E3 is a thing of a past. Like they're never. I I don't see E3 coming back anytime soon. If they do, they might bring it back in like 10 years, 15 years as kind of like a nostalgic thing for people like me, if not people, a couple years younger than me, right? That could potentially have them, do something really cool. But BlizzCon right now, it's kind of in limbo because of the acquisition, because of all that stuff. So at the end of the day, I would venture to say that this is definitely Microsoft's fault as to why BlizzCon's not happening this year because money. Like, you know, Xbox brand, that is, when it comes to the gaming division of Microsoft, has been losing money ever since they launched it. And then with the acquisition of Blizzard, where they spent billions of dollars to acquire a big studio, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, you have it, you name it, they got it. That put a lot of eyes from Microsoft on the Xbox division, the game division. And that's why ultimately I feel like a lot of these games that were exclusive to the Xbox and the PC are coming to the Nintendo Switch and coming to the PlayStation due to the fact that they need to start making money. And that makes sense to me is you're going to make money, but you're going to have to do it at a cost, and that cost being exclusivity. Anyways, you guys, that's my thought on this. Don't forget to mash that like button. Comment down below. How do you feel about this BlizzCon stuff? And subscribe, man. We're on our way to 8,000 subscribers, and I can't do this stuff without you guys. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you later.